The AFC North, it happened 5 minutes ago. The Pittsburgh Steelers announced they have a new deal keeping Big Ben in Pittsburgh for 2021. It is not what I would have done. I think it's time to move off. I don't think he's committed in the offseason. I don't think he's committed to tape study. I don't think he's committed to a high-grade cerebral audible system. I think anytime there's been stars on the offensive side, Ben pushes back. But Pittsburgh has a history of keeping guys an extra year or two, especially popular players, and he certainly qualifies as that. So that's a big piece of news out of the AFC North. The Pittsburgh Steelers, who started off 11-0, are bringing Big Ben back. I would imagine 90% of Steeler fans are very happy with that. Pittsburgh is just one of those places. St. Louis is another one of those places where, you know, you've got sports stars. They matter a lot. And they feel, even though they're cities, they feel like small towns. Pittsburgh and St. Louis, they're loyal, sometimes to a fault. Cardinals in baseball and Steelers in football. So that's the first big piece of news in the AFC North. The other big piece of news in the AFC North is last night on Twitter, Baker Mayfield said he saw a UFO. He went out with his beautiful wife. I'm sure they had some margaritas. Austin, Texas is a fun town. And on Twitter, Baker Mayfield announced, I just saw a UFO diving down near Lake Travis. To that, I would say I would prefer, of all the qualities of franchise quarterbacks, I want to know your arm. Are you good pre-snap? Are you mobile? The ability to see UFOs in the offseason is nowhere near my not top 10 qualifications. Joe Montana, Troy Aikman, Terry Bradshaw, Tom Brady have never seen aliens. I would prefer my guys don't talk about it. But in fairness, Aaron Rodgers also admits he's seen a UFO and he did win a Super Bowl. So Baker Mayfield, I'll read it to you. Almost 100%. Em and I just saw a UFO drop straight out of the sky on our way home from dinner. We stopped and looked at each other and asked if either of us saw it. Very bright ball of light going straight down out of the sky towards beautiful Lake Travis. Beautiful place, by the way. Anybody else witnessed this? No, nobody else witnessed this. But you got the Steelers are bringing their quarterback back, and the Browns quarterback's coming back and just saw an alien. It will potentially, in both cases, skew my standings and predictions going forward. And with that, Alex Curry has the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herd Line News.
That was a great lead-in, by the way, and we're going to stick with some more quarterback drama, more quarterback news. There's clearly tension between Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. Wilson wants more of a voice in the organization, while the team is unhappy that he aired his frustration publicly. Wilson's camp increased the trade buzz when his agents named 4 other teams Wilson would consider playing for. And Seattle will reportedly listen to trade offers for their franchise quarterback. Now, Colin, I like your take, how you said a little tension is good. It creates a little competition. You want to prove that you're right. You want to prove that you're better. However, I do think it's a little crazy and a little disrespectful that the Seahawks haven't come out and put out a statement at all publicly.
Yeah.
Nothing. Yeah. That is just weird to me.
In fact, I had somebody in the NFL mention that to me last night. I didn't answer him to this morning, but he said, don't you think it's strange?
It's very strange.
That the Seahawks have not commented at all on this. Now, I don't think you have a responsibility to, because, again, a lot of this stuff is, Russell Wilson has a right to say stuff. You don't have to react to everything anybody says. I don't know. If I was Seattle, would I react to Russell Wilson's comments? I think I probably would. I'd probably say, listen, it's hard to win Super Bowls. It's discouraging when we don't. Off seasons are about introspection. I think I would just come out and say, Russell Wilson, there's some things he wants to have a greater say in, and we're going to work through this stuff. I think anytime you let a story just hang out there, this is why companies have PR departments. When you let a story just hang out there, people fill in the blank. Mm-hmm. So Russell comments, Seattle doesn't comment, and people are now filling in the blanks. I would rather, if I was Pete Carroll or John Snyder, fill in the blanks and say, hey, we're working through it. It's a tough offseason. But I'll say what I said an hour ago, which is nobody said quarterbacks and coaches have to be best friends.
No.
Tension is part of life. Get over it. You're not going to live a life a linear life where you don't have a bad year in your life or you don't have tension in a relationship. That's the reality. You don't have to solve every problem.
No, and I would understand if it was any other player on the team, but it's your franchise quarterback. It's your number one player on the team. Just say something. Literally anything.
Yeah.
All right. We're moving on to Matthew Stafford, who is now a member of the Rams after requesting a trade from the Lions this offseason. But his former teammates are not upset that he wanted out of Detroit and hope that he finds success in L.A. Tight end TJ Hawkinson said, he is probably the best dude, the best player I've ever been around. Everybody on our team respected that guy. There's not a guy in our locker room that's not rooting for that guy to get a ring. All of us love him. And Colin, this is exactly what you want to hear. When you leave a team and your former teammates are singing your praise, it just shows you're not only a great teammate, but you're a great leader. They have the respect for you. And I think this is the missing piece that the Rams need to hopefully get back to the Super Bowl.
It really feels like, Alex, it feels like Kevin Garnett T-Wolves to the Celtics.
Yeah.
So Kevin Garnett for years was an all-star, kind of a prodigy, was great out of high school. But he had a bunch of stats, and Minnesota could never really do anything with it. And it was not a top free agent mark, one of the colder American cities. NBA players rather not go up there. And so, so he was basically a stat monster. And then KG goes to Boston, and instantly his brand is winner. He's on TV now. So KG changed his brand from just stat monster to dependable franchise winning player. And that's how I look at Kevin Garnett today.
Yeah.
I forgot the Minnesota years. I really do. I don't think of Kevin Garnett in Minnesota. I think of him as a Celtic and a winner.
Yeah.
So Matt Stafford goes to the Rams. Like KG, he's got like 36 come from behind wins, leads the NFL. If he goes to the Rams for 4 years, how old is he? 36 years old, 35 years old? How old is Stafford? It'll be interesting. He's going to win games. Goff won 10. I think it's reasonable to assume it's a good front office, good coach, great defense. If the next 4 years, if Matt Stafford is a playoff quarterback, it's in the 11-12 win category, he's 33. So let's say 5 years with the Rams, I bet you we are going to largely forget the Detroit years, even though he spent twice as much time there. So it's really funny how that works. If you're just a stat guy and go to a winner, we kind of forget the early years. I don't ever think of KG with the T-Wolves, and I think he's going to win. I don't know if he's going to win a Super Bowl. He's going to be an 11-12 win quarterback for the next 4 to 5 years. I think you can write that in.
Oh, yeah, and I think this is the perfect storm. As you mentioned, they have a great coach. They have the offensive weapons. They have a great defense. They have the best defensive player in the league in Aaron Donald, and they have the Super Bowl next year. LA has the Super Bowl, so it could be...
Yeah.
It feels right, and you need something like that if you're going to be on a team in LA. As you know, you got to win. You got to win, or fans write you off out here.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to Juju. Smith-Schuster is taking his workouts to the next level this offseason. He posted a couple videos of his training on Instagram. In one video, he's playing a game of tug-of-war with a lion, and in another, he's taking punches from boxer Ryan Garcia while participating in the Body Shot Challenge. Now, this is definitely taking the off-season workouts to the next level. However, you have to remember, Juju has his pulse on social media. He's great on social media. He's a gamer. He knows what's going to be trending. He knew he was going to get views. He knew he was going to get likes on this post. However, just be careful. Don't hurt yourself. That's the only thing I kind of look at when I see these videos.
Juju is very much the modern player, very socially engaged, LA kid. Some have criticized him for being more concerned with that than his game. But, I mean, he's a good player. I think of him more as a number 2 than a number 1. And he's one of those guys. He's got a little Odell Beckham. He's very socially engaged. He's building a brand. I don't lose a lot of sleep. He's a good player. I don't think he's a great player. And if he wants to mess around on social, what do I care?
Just having fun.
Having fun. Alex for the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie News. So
Big Ben will be back with the Steelers, and Baker Mayfield saw a UFO. Those are the big stories out of the AFC North today. I saw this. Jim Nagy is a former Patriot scout. He came out and said yesterday, I think the Patriots should go out and get Gardner Minshew. There's another story yesterday where the Patriots are not enamored with the current free agent quarterback class. Jimmy Garoppolo, it says, is their top choice. There's another story yesterday that said, why are the Patriots scouting NFL drafts top-level quarterbacks so aggressively? They want to move up. And it's really interesting. 12 months from Tom Brady leaving, and it kind of feels like they're lost at sea. Gardner Minshew, Jimmy Garoppolo, Marcus Mariota, or Cam Newton. This is why I think they're going to run back Cam Newton. So the most detailed coach in NFL history, the most intellectual coach in NFL history, the most prepared coach in NFL history, 20 years, they look lost at quarterback. So, Pete Carroll, are you watching? New England has cap space, but the market's not very good. How much are you going to spend on Marcus Mariota? How much are you going to spend on Cam? How much are you going to spend on Gardner Minshew? So, you and I don't think NFL teams, having been humiliated by the Patriots for 20 years, are going to want to do any